It took just about 3 weeks, but it is finally done. Of course, I am talking about your Baltimore Ravens coaching staff being finalized. Now, there might be some additions here or there with some assistants and quality control coaches and things of that nature, but of all the position coaches, of all the guys who will be running meetings in the summer and the fall, who will be in charge of a massive portion of this football team, all of those moves are done. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I have really, really loved what Jesse Minter has done over the past 21 days. I think he's added a lot of really, really great coaches to this staff. Which staff do you like better? I get it. Like, this new one's only been together for like 3 weeks. But let me know down below if you like the new one better, like the video. But if you like the old one better, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. Matt Zenitz is the one that broke the news just a couple of hours ago that the Ravens are expected to hire Keary Colbert as wide receivers coach. Sources tell CBS Sports former NFL wide receiver was the Broncos wide receivers coach the last 2 seasons. Before that, he was the wide receivers coach at college level, Florida and USC. We're actually going to go prior to Florida and USC, which is where we're going to all start with this, because I believe 2013 is the most important talking point, because that is when Jesse Minter and Keary Colbert crossed paths at Georgia State. From there on, he went to learn under Nick Saban, be an offensive analyst for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Don't know for sure if they did, but I think it's a pretty good guess they won a national championship from 2014 to 2015. Then 2016 to 2021, he was at USC, first as a quality control coach, then a tight ends coach, and then last as a wide receivers coach. That's then where he went to Florida, had that same exact role there, and then has spent the last 3 seasons with Rashod Bateman and the Denver Broncos as their wide receivers coach. Let's talk about USC, because if you need proof of his ability to develop talent at the wide receiver position, I think his time with the Trojans is perfect proof of that. Michael Pittman Jr., Amon-Ra St. Brown, Drake London, 3 guys who were in his wide receiver room when he was there. 3 guys he developed to be great talent, high draft picks, and then so far have great careers in the National Football League. I'm not going to put it all on Keary Colbert, but I think it'd be crazy to think he didn't play a decent part in their development and kind of what they've turned into right now. Courtland Sutton had a good year this past year. He was the Denver Broncos wide receiver 1, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 74 catches. But I think the thing that stood out to me most when I looked at Broncos wide receivers was the jump from Troy Franklin from his rookie year to his technical sophomore year with the Denver Broncos. He almost tripled his amount of catches, tripled his amount of yards, had over 1.5 yards more on average, tripled his amount of touchdowns. Like, the jump that this dude took was absolutely massive, and it attributed in a big way to their ability to consistently move the football offensively. You know who played a really big part in that? Keary Colbert did. I also like Declan Doyle being able to surround himself with some familiarity. Like, those guys crossed paths together in 2023 and 2024 with the Denver Broncos before Doyle left to Chicago to work under Ben Johnson. And this wide receiver room is going into this year with a ton of question marks surrounding it. You got Zay Flowers. I think the question mark surrounding him is he a wide receiver 1? So far, through his first 3 seasons, I think the answer to that is no, but it's still debatable. DeAndre Hopkins, question mark around him is he going to be back? Rashod Bateman, his question mark, is he good at football? We do not know. I don't think he was utilized in the best ways in 2025, but I don't think anybody can argue that even when he got the ball thrown to him, that he was a good football player, at least one worth the $12 million extension he got in the summer. Devontae Walker, for some reason, doesn't play. Hopefully that changes under Declan Doyle. And then Western Wallace, both those guys were just kind of non-factors. I do believe that there's an outside chance they go wide receiver in round 1. I don't think they need to. I don't think they will. Like, I wouldn't bet on it. But I also see a world where at 14, Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, maybe even a world where Carnell Tate drops that low, and it's just one of those situations where Baltimore cannot pass it up. But Keary Colbert is your new wide receivers coach, and I want you to grade that higher for me. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F for that move down below in the comments section. Weigh in with your answer and let me know what you think. That was not the only coaching staff move that was made today. Jeff Zrebiak tweeting out around 2 p.m. Central Time. The Ravens are expected to bring in Ben Kotwica, probably didn't say that right, but that's okay, Ben. You'll forgive me. As a senior assistant on special teams, 51 years old, served as Rams interim special teams coordinator for part of the season in 2025. Also has been a special teams coordinator for the Commanders, Jets, Broncos, and Falcons. Now, the reason they did this is because last night, we made a short over it, we got the news that Anthony Levine, is going from, co-cap, a guy who was an absolute special teams ace and was on this staff, to now being the special teams coordinator. I really liked that move at the time. Loved it last night, love it again today, but also, he's really, really young. He's never been a special teams coordinator before. And Ben's coming in here, been a special teams coordinator for a handful of teams around the league. He knows what it's like to be in that position. He's got a ton of experience. So what he is on this staff is just some guy to be a helping hand to Anthony. Some guy that he can go to when he's got some questions about the role and maybe some questions about what to do in a certain situation. And that's what I think is a really cool thing of what Jesse Minter has done over the past couple of weeks is he has assembled a coaching staff that is full of a lot of young guys with some college experience, young NFL experience, and a lot of older guys that have been in this league for decades. A lot of older guys that might be coming in as a pass game coordinator offensively, but have been offensive coordinators in the past. And I think that's going to be really beneficial because at the core of it, like at the top of it, this is a really, really young group with Jesse Minter, Declan Doyle, and, of course, Anthony Weaver. The offensive side of the football, your OC is Declan Doyle, senior assistant Joe Lombardi, quarterbacks coach Israel Wolfork, running back coach Eddie Faulkner, wide receiver coach Keary Colbert, offensive line coach Dwayne Ledford, offensive line assistant Sean Flaherty, tight end coach Zach Grossi, quality control Patrick Kramer, and pass game coordinator Marcus Brady. On the defensive side of the football, Anthony Weaver is your DC. Defensive line coach is Lou Esposito. Offensive linebackers coach Harlan Bauer. Tyler Santucci is your inside linebackers coach. Mike Mickens is on the defensive backs with Miles Taylor being his assistant. PJ Volker from the Naval Academy is your safeties coach, and the assistant is Charlie Gumwood, of course, with Rick Minter being a consultant. And then the special team staff finally got rounded out. You got Anthony Levine, Randy Brown, and Ben Kotuka rounding out that group. Are you excited about this staff? Because I personally really, really am. I'll actually talk a little bit more about that this weekend, I believe on Saturday. But if you're pumped up about this staff, do one big favor. Hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. Something else you should be pumped up about is our friends over at Ethos, the sponsor of today's show. And as you know, my wife Kennedy and I got married almost 2 years ago. Imagine we'll maybe buy a house, maybe start having kids sometime soon. If something were to happen to me, the last thing I want the people I love to worry about is being able to pay the bills. So I trust Ethos to keep them protected. After watching someone close to me go through loss, I saw how quickly grief can turn into financial stress. That experience changed how I think about protecting my family. Life insurance isn't about expecting the worst, but it's about making sure the people you love are supported no matter what. And that's why I recommend life insurance through Ethos. Ethos makes getting life insurance fast and easy. 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. There's no medical exam. You just answer a few simple health questions. You can get up to $3 million in coverage. Some policies are as low as $30 a month. Ethos has 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 3,000 reviews. Help protect your family with life insurance through Ethos. Get your instant free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That is ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times and rates may vary. The NFL draft is just about 2.5 months away, so I'm going to start doing this from time to time, doing a little bit of a draft spotlight, and our first one is going to be on Vega Ioane out of Penn State, but we're just going to call him Vega because it's a little bit easier to say than Vega, and also that's his nickname. I'm not just giving him that. Me and him are boys. No, we're not. PFF grades, 79.9 this past year with the Nittany Lions. Pass blocking is his thing. He almost scored the 90s with an 87.1. Run blocking, 78.6, and 0 sacks allowed, 1 penalty in 614 snaps. 0 hits, 4 pressures in total. Like, this dude was an absolute anchor on the interior of Penn State's offensive line. And he is not the reason that they had such a disappointing season, I promise you that. He's got a lot of pros, right? Pass protection is the very top of the list. one of the reasons he is so good in pass protection. He's got really low, really tight hands, a strong anchor, like the base of his legs. He is so hard to push backwards with a bull rush. And his grip strength is really, really impressive as well. Once he has a hold of you, once he grabs onto you, it is so hard for those defensive linemen to get off of that. The biggest con, I think the biggest question mark, is his run blocking, is his ability to operate in space, which I feel like probably gives a little bit of Vietnam flashbacks to Ravens fans because we've been used to Daniel Faalele whenever he's in space looking like he's a kid that's lost his mom in the mall. Like, it's absolutely unbelievable. And the last thing we want to do is have to go through that again. So, I think there's a lot to like about him, but that doesn't mean he's a perfect prospect, right? And if you're getting at about 14, this is going to be a guy you need to feel solid that's going to give you 3 or 4 years of really, really great play. If you're drafting someone in the top 14 of the NFL draft, you're expecting that guy to be a second contract type player. A little bit more scouting report on Vega. Pass protection is his calling card. It translates immediately to Sundays. 0 sacks, 0 hits, only 4 hurries across 613 snaps in 2025. Tells you everything about his ability to keep quarterbacks clean. While he wins with power at the point of attack, his work on the move shows real limitations that cap his ceiling and outside zone schemes. Lateral quickness is below average and shows up against twitchy 3 techniques who can cross his face. Now, the reason that I would take the risk on Vega Ioane is because of your new offensive line coach, Dwayne Ledford. He is the best in the business. I believe he was Jesse Minter's best hire on this coaching staff. And he's one of those guys who his ability, his best ability, is scheming up the run. It's the reason he is your run game coordinator. So if you draft a guy that's having trouble blocking the run, might have trouble in space or question marks about his ability to operate in space, pairing him with Dwayne Ledford is probably the best thing that could happen for him. Who should the Ravens draft at 14? Let me know down below in the comment section. Give me your take. And while you're down there in that comment section, you'll find my social media. Make sure to give me a follow as well. Twitter, Instagram, at Joey Peterson8 on both of those platforms. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Daily Ravens videos right here on the Ravens Rundown. And with that, we'll see you next time.